Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 967 days, Ukraine defends itself against the forces of the Russian invasion. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy revealed that he discussed the need for Ukraine to be allowed into NATO with US presidential candidate Donald Trump, mentioning Kyiv's renunciation of nuclear weapons, reports European Pravda. The president described the Budapest Memorandum, according to which Ukraine gave up its nuclear arsenal, as ineffective agreement that failed to safeguard the country. Quote, "In a conversation with Donald Trump, I told him, we found ourselves in this situation, so what's the way out? Either Ukraine will have nuclear weapons and then it will be our defense, or we need to have some kind of alliance. Apart from NATO, we don't know any effective alliances today," unquote, Zelenskyy stressed. He added that NATO countries are not at war today, which is why Ukraine chooses NATO over nuclear weapons. This statement caused an active reaction in Ukrainian society and raised the question if the Ukrainian leader seriously meant that Kyiv might consider developing a nuclear weapon if denied membership in NATO. This statement caused an active reaction in Ukrainian society and raised the question if the Ukrainian leader seriously meant that Kyiv might consider developing a nuclear weapon if denied membership in NATO. Following this, German media Bild, citing an unnamed Ukrainian official, reported that Ukraine was allegedly ready to develop nuclear weapons within weeks to use against Russia. Due to the reaction, Zelenskyy had to clarify that Ukraine has no intention of restoring its nuclear arsenal. At a press conference with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in Brussels, the president emphasized that Ukraine, quote, "never said that we are preparing to create nuclear weapons or something like this," unquote. He recalled that the Budapest Memorandum did not protect Ukraine from Russian military aggression. Quote, "This means that it's not a very good umbrella for our security. That is why I said I have no alternative except NATO. That was my signal. But we don't create nuclear weapons," unquote, Zelenskyy stressed. Rutte added that Ukraine, quote, "will be in NATO, and until that happens, we will make sure that Ukraine has everything it needs to prevail," unquote. Yesterday, Volodymyr Zelenskyy presented his victory plan to the European leaders at a meeting of the European Council in Brussels, reports Espresso. He emphasized that the plan contains provisions for weapons, an invitation for Kyiv to join NATO, and economic strengthening, ensuring that Ukraine will attract investments and safeguard its resources from falling into the hands of Russia or its allies. He stressed that if Ukraine's partners do not support the victory plan, it would give Russia an advantage and constitute a big mistake. We would really appreciate if you could rate us, ideally with 5 stars, and leave a glowing review in the app where you're listening to this podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or others. This really helps more people to find out about the highlights from Ukraine and truth about Russia's invasion. The Digitalization Ministry informed that Ukraine increased the production capacity of the drone industry 10 times in 2024 compared to the previous year, reports Ekonomichna Pravda. The number of investments in 2024 was up to $50 million, when in 2023 this figure was up to $5 million. At the same time, the average size of investments increased from $500,000 to $1 to $3 million. Production capacity, according to the ministry, increased from 300,000 units of drones in 2023 to 4 million in 2024. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.